Welcome back to Click Connect. I'm your host, Craig Sullivan. I hope everybody's 2024 started out great. I would like to thank our production partner for this show, Red Roof Franchising. They're a great alternative if you're looking for a new brand. If you're looking to expand your portfolio and bring in a new brand, give them a call. They've got their soft brand, they've got their extended stay, they've got a dual property prototype, and their economy brands that they're known for. Give Matt Hostetler a call over at Red Roof. Let him know the producer Danny and I sent you. Thank you very much. Okay, Danny, we're back. It's New Year's, our second show of the year. We've got Edwin Schaerlaeckens, I believe is the pronunciation of the last name. Hotels for Trees. Edwin, welcome to Click Connect. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Greg. I'm doing just fine, and you pronounce my name just perfectly. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, that's a good sign right there. Edwin, would you do me a favor and please tell the audience about yourself and Hotels for Trees?
Yeah, so my name is Edwin Schaerlaeckens. Born and raised in the Netherlands, but been in the US for about 20 years now. Picked up a hobby, or it's a passion really, Hotels for Trees. So basically what we do is we work with any hotel that'd like to work with us, and we plant a tree every time a hotel guest does not want their room cleaned. So we are a sustainability play, a non-profit.
I love that idea, and that's becoming more and more prevalent across the hospitality sector. And I would imagine that, there is a benefit in labor savings because you're not, cleaning the room every day. They have the opportunity. Now, do they make a cash donation, or is it just, how does that work? How does a hotel work with you and your company?
Yeah, there's 4 different benefits for the hotel that would like to join. So first of all, there is a cost saving for not cleaning the room. The second one is in some states, some cities more than others. You probably know this better than me, Greg. Getting staff to clean the rooms is an issue. So we help, of course, lessen that burden a little bit. We've also help, of course, hotels on their sustainability journey, which becomes more and more prevalent with these days. We just talked about the weather, how crazy warm it is. We all need to do something about the climate. And last but not least, we see some hotels use this as a team building event for their staff, front office, for their house cleaning staff. Every time 100 trees, 500 trees, 1,000 trees are planted. They do some mini celebrations, a little bit of a morale booster. So it's great for team building as well.
I love that.
The way it works is that the threshold to enter is as low as it can get. So there is no contract, there is no signature, there's no legal obligation, there's no upfront cost. The only thing that the hotel needs is a door hanger to use basically for the guest to say, like, please do not clean my room, and plant a tree instead. It's kind of like a do not disturb door hanger, but it's similar.
Nice. Now, do the hotels come to you and you send them that, or is that part of their printing cost for the hotel itself?
Yeah, we try to be flexible. We encourage, being a sustainability nonprofit, we encourage folks to download our materials from our website and print locally if they can. And they can customize, put their own colors on it, put their own logo on it, modify it as they see fit, as long as our message remains clear for the guests, of course. If people really are in a bind, we can print, but it would be in Europe, and send the parcel over with door hangers to any hotel here, really.
Okay, nice. You're a relatively new business. What made you start up Hotels for Trees?
Yeah, it's a good question. I actually didn't start it myself, Greg. 2 folks in the Netherlands did about 2.5 years ago. The general manager of the DoubleTree in Amsterdam started this. He was during COVID. We all know hotels were not very busy, not a lot of guests. So he wrote a white paper as part of his MBA to start Hotels for Trees, and then he actually put his money where his mouth is. So he started it. What triggered me is it's a little bit less than a year ago. I was actually traveling back to my folks in Europe, staying at a hotel, and I saw this door hanger, and I was intrigued. I'll date myself a little bit. When I was a little boy, 12 to 14 years old, I was always thinking I'm going to do something to save the world, save the whales and the rainforest, and do something in that kind of environment. The thing is, back in the late 70s, early 80s in the Netherlands, to become a biologist, you needed to study those books in German, and my German language skills were not proficient enough. So long story short, I graduated doing something completely different. Spent 35 years working for a large American company called 3M in the Twin Cities in Minnesota. They took me across the world. I spent time in the US, 3 years in Brussels, Belgium, 7 in Stockholm and Sweden, and now almost 18 years here. About a year ago, I did retire from 3M. I early retired from 3M. And I felt like, okay, I'm done now with corporate America. I've seen that, I've done that, and I want to do something that feels good. So for me, actually, joining this team, and it's a really small team of 3, 4, 5 folks. To me, this is not a job. This is not work. It's not even a hobby. It's a bit of a passion, actually, to be able to use my time and do good and do something that feels good as well.
I love that, and I can relate to leaving publicly held corporate America. I did that myself, and I haven't stopped smiling since. Now,
exactly.
I had a stellar career, and I spent over 28 years with one company, but those other years I bounced around a lot. So we had a really good group there up until the financial meltdown, and then everything started changing. Why should hotels join your organization?
Yeah, it's another great question. The question I would have is like, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Right, because in the end, it's not the hotel, but the hotel guest that gets to make the decision. So whenever a hotel guest stays for longer than one night, because obviously that's a prerequisite. If they stay one night, then you clean the room, of course. But if they stay 2 or more nights, the hotel guest gets to make the decision. Do I plant a tree or do I not plant a tree? And we've seen this work in many different kinds of hotels, big ones, small ones, luxury hotels, boutique hotels, independent hotels. We're coming up to 200 hotels that have joined us so far. Most of them are in Europe, where we started about 2.5 years ago. I just picked up this territory, North America, a couple of months ago. I started a nonprofit here so that also US hotels can claim this as a charitable donation and get a tax benefit. 501c3 registered in Delaware, so that's a good benefit. And like we just talked about, Greg, the threshold to enter is really small. There is no upfront cost. There is no commitment. There's no contract. Hotels can start within a matter of a few days as soon as they got these door hangers in and told their staff they're ready to go. The hotel can also, at any point in time throughout the year, can take a break, can stop and restart. Some hotels close for summer, some for winter, some in between seasons. No communication is necessary. They have to do this because it's got to be a win-win.
Yeah.
And we rely on them to do so. So the threshold to start is very low. And in the end, it's the guest that makes the call. And I think that's what a decision power needs to be.
I like that idea, and I like the ability to putting the program on hold. Now, companies I've been with, we've had assets in the Valley of the Sun, beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, and July, August, it's 3,000 degrees. That's typically when we're doing all of our painting and everything else on the inside of the building. So I like that idea. I also like that. If you're talking about some of these resorts that are typically more ski in, ski out, but they are getting a longer season now because of hiking and mountain biking and various other things. They could back it off a little bit. They could also expand it. I'm liking that a lot. Why plant trees when there are so many other things that could be done? What was the idea behind the trees?
Well, sustainability becomes a bigger and bigger issue. And I think also in the hospitality industry, we see this more and more. Perhaps I'm a little bit biased, but I'd like to think that Europe is already more prone to the effects, higher taxes for hotels. I think we'll get to see that as well here in the US in the next couple of years. What I like about trees is, first of all, who doesn't like trees, right? If you talk about sustainability, you get these certifying bodies, you get carbon footprint calculations, and people, you see this blank stare, right? If you started talking with people about that, a tree speaks to people. Everybody loves trees. Everybody loves walking in a forest. Everybody can picture what a tree is and what it does. And I think giving people the ability to say, like, you can plant a tree if you make this small sacrifice, if you will, for not having your room cleaned. I think it speaks to people. What I like about the concept as well is that in working with hotels and all the guests that come through, you bring sustainability top of mind to a lot of people, in even if it's just a few seconds a day for these people, but it speaks to people. And what I also like about it is it's simple. We found some also in North America, or I should say especially North America, we found some great partners to work with. Our credibility, our reputation is very important, and so is theirs. And so in North America, we are using two different forestation partners. One is Arbor Day, been around for 50 years. They planted 500 million trees in those 50 years. In the next 5 years, they want to plant another 500 million. So they're very ambitious, very big, large, reputable forestation or reforestation company with a large presence in North America as well as a global footprint. The other one tree planted, been around a little bit less, 10, 12 years. The founder, perhaps a little bit like you and I, Greg, was in corporate America, decided this is enough, I'm going to do something to make a difference. And he started One Tree Planted. And they're sort of like a little bit like the new kid on the block. They did something really cool just last year. They worked with Coldplay, the band.
Yeah.
Coldplay wanted to make their last world tour carbon neutral. And so they worked together with One Tree Planted, and they planted together 8 million trees to do that. So very cool.
That's very nice. I like that a lot. Now I'm assuming, that your organization is planting trees in Europe and also North America. That's your territory, the United States and Canada. I don't know if you're going up as far as Alaska, but I would say Canada and the continental US. Is that pretty accurate?
We're actually a small team of 4 or 5 folks like myself. There's another one in Australia, New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So we also started a nonprofit there. So we got Hotels for Trees is basically a combination of 3 separate nonprofit legal entities to give as many hotels the benefit of a tax-deductible opportunity. But the 2 forestation companies I work with, they have a global presence. They plant here, there, everywhere. So definitely in North America, definitely Canada as well as the US. But they also go to South America. They go to Africa. They go to Southeast Asia. And the good thing about working with these larger companies is that if a hotel is a little bit more picky, like can you plant trees in my state, then there's probably a 60-70% chance that we can find a project that we can link them to, send them information like these are the number of trees that will be planted, this is where they will be planted, what kind of trees, and in which time period as well. So to make it personal, they get pictures, they get information, they can post it on their website, and it makes it more real.
I love it. Yeah, that customization or personalization, I think, goes a long way. Because you've got, let's look at California. Okay. You've got, hotels here that, they are helping out with sustainability and various other items, and they're trying to keep it within the state. And I respect that. It's nice to help, but it's also nice to help in your own backyard. Sure. And, make those arrangements. That's great. Okay, Edwin, I would like to get us to our lightning round. Are you ready for that?
I am ready.
Okay. Producer Danny's going to put 2 minutes on the clock. It's word association, and we're going to start that now. Favorite sport?
Team handball.
Gas or EV?
EV.
Movie or play?
I'd like to go and watch the play.
Favorite band, group, duo, or solo artist?
Oh, I'm big into music. I go to all kinds of concerts, but if I have to pick one person, I like to play a little bit guitar. I would say John Mayer.
There we go. I like that. Social media?
LinkedIn.
Growth?
The first word that comes to mind, you're going to hate me for this, is degrowth. It's a big thing in the UK. Rewild, degrowth, they're doing a lot of that. It's intriguing.
Interesting. Streaming or cable?
Cable.
Carbon footprint?
Reduction.
Best restaurant in your city?
We have a very nice city downtown Minneapolis. It's called Demi. It's fabulous. It's really good.
Vacation international or U.S.?
International.
Hey, you did that with 51 seconds left. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, okay, you really sparked my curiosity with this degrowth. What is that?
So the opposite is that if you taking a little bit of a history lesson here as well, between 1960 and 2000, we doubled the world population on this planet. Between 2000 and 2060, the estimate is we're going to double it again. So the growth rate is slowing down, but every day we're adding people to this planet. So to me, that is the definition of something that is not sustainable, because in the end, there's only finite resources, and we gotta do with what we have. We can't take more than what is made available. And so there is this concept that we need to stabilize how many we are and how much we use. And with that comes a concept of degrowth and rewilding. So think of larger cities, but give back to nature, give certain parts of the country back to rewilding efforts. It's an interesting concept. I'm not an expert of it, but it gets more and more traction. Like I said, in the UK, they've got some great examples of it, and it's fascinating. And at the same time, it's very scary too, because if you think about degrowth, it's probably the end of capitalism as we know it, right? It's very scary, and I think it's in the next 5, 10, 15 years to come. I think this will become more and more a reality.
We're on the cusp of a lot of changes, that's for sure. And, some of them are going to be a very difficult pill to swallow. And I don't care how much water you're drinking, it's going to be difficult. And that's another thing. You've got certain parts of the world that rely on desalinization, and, the damage to the offshore or coastal area, I'm not sure about, but I know people need water. We got to have water. I don't think we're doing a very good job at reclaiming and wells and cisterns and a few other things that I think we need to get back to. I know we've got one city here in Orange County, Anaheim, that every time there's a new commercial development, and I think multifamily, they have to have a way of collecting rainwater, and they've got cisterns all over that city. You don't see a lot of them. You see one or two that are really big, and they also stock fish in there, and you can go fishing. But I think I kind of relate this to the P code, okay, the U.S. Navy P code. It comes in and out of fashion, but it always comes back. And I think some of the practices that we had way back when, they just made a lot of sense. And I think we've got to get back to, a common sense reality in some of this. So, Edwin, how can people get a hold of you? This is time for a shameless plug.
Edwin at hotelsfortrees.com is my email address. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can email me at any point in time. Like I said, we open our doors for anybody that'd like to work with us, whether you're small or large. We have hotels with us that have 9 rooms. We welcome hotels with 900 rooms. Some people say that this doesn't apply for the more upscale luxury hotels. I tend to disagree. I think specifically the luxury hotels, I think their clientele is typically, first of all, they have a larger carbon footprint because of the way they live, and that's perfectly okay. But I also think that these people typically are more well educated. They know what's going on, and given a choice, I think they too would appreciate sometimes not having their room cleaned and plant a tree instead. So we're ambitious. We're growing rapidly. We're almost up to 200 hotels. Next year in 2025, we hope to plant our 1 millionth tree. So we're trying to get some big numbers out there. And we're just new in the US and Canada. We're new in Australia, New Zealand. would like to make a big splash and get as many hotels on board as we can here.
Absolutely. Edwin, you've got an open invitation to come back anytime you want. You want to update the audience, any new programs, statistics on trees being planted, anything you want to talk about, you've got a home here to get the word out. Really appreciate you being here. Sustainability is part of our future, and you need to get on board with this. Edwin, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me. It was my pleasure as well. I appreciate the opportunity. So thank you very much, Greg.
Take care. Thank you, our audience. This is something new. We bring you industry leaders, and here's something I think that can really help your hotel and also help the environment. So, get a hold of Edwin either here through the show or on LinkedIn. Really appreciate him being here. We appreciate you joining us. And we want to thank our good friends over at Red Roof Franchising. Give them a call. You're looking for a new brand, an alternative. They can help you. They've got an extended stay, beautiful prototype. They've also got a dual branded with the extended stay, another prototype that's great. They've got their soft brand, their economy brands that they're known for. Give Matt Hostetler a call and let him know that, producer Danny and I sent you. They'd love to hear from you. And then March 6th, 7th at the West and South Coast Plaza Hotel, the 7th annual California Lodging Investment Conference. Join us. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got owners, we've got management companies, asset management, brands, lenders still making loans, hotel third-party professionals like Partner Engineering and Science. We've got some great people there. Bruce Ford is our opening keynote. We've got our Hotel Development Deal of the Year. We've also got Jim Butler getting our 3rd Lifetime Achievement Award. So join us on March 6th and 7th. You can register at cliconference.com. As I'm fond of saying, be kind, share your knowledge. Now go be amazing.